with Parsons. He died after a suicide attempt following months of bullying. That's what makes it so hard to believe that her picture ended up in an online dating ad on Facebook.
Rehthea's father says he's disgusted, and given the circumstances of her death and the grief his family's gone through, it's disturbing that someone could lift the photo and just start using it. And says the ad was a gross violation of the social network's policies, and it's been removed. Now, the dating site has also apologized, saying the use of the image was a mistake.
Joining us now to provide some expertise on the use of photos online is Alex Sevigny. He's the Executive Director of Master University's Communication Metrics Laboratory. And to talk about the social impact is Dundas social worker Gary Durfeld. Alex, the website that used the picture said that the photo was gathered randomly from Google from a so-called image scraper. Can you tell us what an image scraper is?
Well, sure. It's a computer program that's designed to harvest images from a Google image search that match a set of features or priorities on the part of the person who software programs that scrape the web, which really means search the web, to find pictures that match what the person who's doing the searching wants.
Okay, so Alex, another question for you, and I think this because so many of us have been posted online in some way, shape, or form. Does anyone have the right to use our images if they're posted, even if we didn't post them and someone else did? What are the legalities here?
It's a gray area, and it really has to do with where they're being used. Is it based in the country where the pictures are being used? Fact is, it's a gray area whether or not images that you post to a public site like Facebook or to Google or to your blog can be used by others. You know, have you made them public or not? Do you still own the image or not? It's not the same as somebody coming into a party or an event snapping your picture. There, they definitely have to get you to sign a waiver to be able to use that photo, right? But in this case, it's a gray area.
Gary, the Parsons family, I'm sure, still grieving over the loss of their 17-year-old daughter. Now this comes along. Now their daughter's image is posted on a dating website. How would something like this affect the family? What would you tell the family and friends of this young lady how to deal with something like that?
Was exposed to the internet, having been raped. She was bullied by this, and she took her life. And now this family is victimized yet again. And in some ways, her daughter's, I hate to use the phrase, but she's being raped again through the media. I don't know that we can ascribe blame to Facebook or this other company per se. The real message is for us as parents, we have to keep our children safe from harm. We have to help them understand that literally anything that we post to the internet is free game. That you can, that forget the legalities of it. Tell us, we cannot protect our images, we cannot protect what we post. The only protection is us using good judgment for what we put out there.
What they do. Do you think users need to be more demanding from social media sites like Facebook when it comes to protecting our privacy, even though they're free?
You know, the truth is difficult for corporations or services like Facebook to protect your privacy. And so I'm with my co-speaker here. It's all about using Facebook in an effective way, being conscious of what you're publishing publicly. I mean, what parents and young people and anybody has to really know and think about whenever you post anything to the web is that you're creating a public record that you've published to the public record. It isn't like someone overhearing your conversation at a party. This is you willfully putting a photo of yourself up for viewing and consumption by people who are members of the public. And if that gets scraped by an organization like this, regardless of legality, regardless even, sadly, of the ethical implications, because I think there's a big ethical piece here on the part of that dating website that isn't being viewed. regardless of that, you just have to be very careful. Parents have to be vigilant, and young people have to be educated about what it means to publish content to the web.
Hey Gary, let's if you were to go to on this television station, a newspaper, anything like that, if first thing we do is we find their Facebook page. It used to be you'd have to go to the family and say, "Could I have a photograph, please, of your loved one that passed away," or something to that effect. Now we can grab it from just about anywhere. How do we teach our kids that, see these pictures, see all this stuff here? We can grab those in just 2 seconds flat. If it's someone who's accused of something, if it's someone who died in a car crash, anybody that's might be in the news, we can find their image like that and post it, and not have to worry about any legalities. How do you explain this to your kids?
How naive to think that you can explain this to your kids. It's beyond their cognitive capacity to understand until they're actually a young adult. And so it's not about, yes, we do want to explain, don't get me wrong, let's do that, let's do the educational piece, but it requires parental supervision. We have to tell our kids that we are going to monitor their use. We have to tell them that if they can't delete the history, we do have to review it from time to time. The 4-year-old who says, I can touch the stove, I won't get burned. It's that kind of naivety. So our kids don't understand, so we as the parents, as responsible adults, we have to.
And Alex, I want to ask you, like, there's a lot of people whose, if their face had been, image had been used in that dating ad, it could have hurt their business reputation, could have certainly destroyed a relationship. Isn't there any legal recourse to say, I didn't give you permission and now you've hurt me personally or professionally?
Well, I mean, it's a gray area. The company's not based in Canada. You can try to shame them or impress upon them that they've broken Facebook's use guidelines or use priorities. You can try to make an appeal. You could try to maybe initiate a legal action in Canada or in the country in which in which the business is based. But those are expensive, time-consuming, and emotionally expensive things to do. Honestly, prevention is the best medicine in this situation.
Alex, in 10 seconds, tell me, do you see a day when Facebook is not nearly as popular as it is today because of restrictions that the public will demand to be put on this social site?
Absolutely, but you know what will happen then? Young people seeking quote-unquote freedom or wanting to circumvent the rules or constraints that Facebook would put on them are going to go to other sites. And so Facebook will start declining. A more libertarian site will pop up. The problem and practical practice on the part of practical caution on the part of parents and members of the public.
Alex Sevigny, Gary Dernfeld, thank you very much for your time and your perspective.
When we come back, trying to win the battle against bullying.
A former high school principal says schools need to be more involved in solving the problem, and he joins us after the break.